So, hi, Anu, and welcome to this series of conversations where we get women achievers who we call women trailblazers to share the stories of their lives with us, to tell us about their journey, the ups and downs, struggles, high points, basically, in order to inspire other women to step out of whatever is holding them back from realizing their potential. And of course, eventually, we want to build a community of women who are there to support, empower, and inspire each other. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sangeeta. And it's a great venture you have started. And I'm very privileged and honored to be with you here. Thanks for having me.
You're most welcome. So, fine. So, let's get started. And so, as an icebreaker, just tell us a little bit about your childhood, your early life.
Okay, so let me start where I was born.
Okay. Yeah.
I was born in a silk city of Odisha, Berhampur. Now
Okay.
you can relate, my Insta page, why I talk so much about handlooms and Odisha
Yeah.
handlooms.
Yeah.
So yes, I was born there.
Mm-hmm.
And after which I started my preliminary schooling in the city, like Berhampur itself. But
Mm-hmm.
after which the higher studies, higher school and college and post graduation happened across different cities of Odisha. It never happened in one place, because my father was on a transferable job. He was a professor of a college, government college. So wherever his work took, we were there with him. So that's how my education was spread across different cities of Odisha. And
Okay.
two things happen, when you travel place to place. One biggest advantage is that, you learn a lot of languages and the cultures. And this is the biggest plus point. But
Yes.
what I felt is, I'm talking about in 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't a digital era. So I think I could never have friends, school friends till now. So that's the one thing which I miss. Otherwise, I had a happy childhood I had, and very satisfying. A chirpy girl. I was told
Yeah.
that I'm more mischievous and naughty than in comparison to my elder siblings. So yeah,
Oh,
I had a very happy childhood. Yeah.
that's great to know. So, any particular memory from your childhood which you think made an impact on the kind of person you are today?
Oh, absolutely. Seeing my dad, I think he is my hero. The way he was into teaching, and I have seen him. He was my direct teacher during my graduation. So
Okay.
if I'm taking you a little ahead than the childhood, but
Mm.
that is how from the childhood, like he has been a teacher, and I know how good teacher he is. How it's two different things: is knowing something and teaching something. You being in the profession, I think you know very well. So I
Yeah.
think that's what has given me a memory. Like whenever he used to enter the graduation class, accounts class, everyone is a pin drop silence. And I've seen other professors what used to happen, and when he comes, how he conducted, how he handled the questions, how he handled the children. I think that's a big lesson, and that's how I think it has impacted and carried forward as a teaching profession for me right now.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. So then, growing up, was it obvious that you would have a career, you would work? Because at that time, the option of getting married was always there. I mean, girls could choose to get married and not do something, take up a profession. So, how was it for you?
See, Sangeeta, I had a dream for sure to have a career. To be very honest, I'm a baby boomer.
Mm-hmm.
Early 60s is my date of birth. So the thing is, we come from that generation which is like conservative, little conventional, and parented by silent generation, which is like still coming out of the cultural differences. And so the being a girl, it was not readily accepted that you go for higher studies, number one, and career was something far away for me. Like born in a small town, of course I did my education across bigger cities in Odisha, but the career was never supported at that time by my maternal family life.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I always wanted to have a career. And I was fortunate enough, after marriage, when I came to Bombay, my husband was very supportive and he wanted someone who works. So I started a profession, and I was teaching, in a college in Mumbai for a couple of years.
Mhm.
And that's how I started my career. But you know what happens to the girls' life, like and during those years, early 80s, it was my personal choice. When the moment I was a family way, I said, okay, let me be, a mother. And I left. I thought I'll take a very brief sabbatical. And that sabbatical lasted for me for 25 years. Trust me, for
Wow.
that
Wow.
matter. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you just get, looped into that family life. You can't get out of it, one child, the next child, the responsibilities. So I was just away from a profession, like, yeah.
So, what was it that you said, like you always wanted a career? So, what
Yes.
inspired you to have a career? Because, as you said at that time, it wasn't like really the most popular thing for girls to do. So, what was your
Yeah.
inspiration?
I don't know myself. Maybe looking at the some women who worked, and I saw what difference they made to themselves and the family. Maybe
Mhm.
those few women who came out and started their careers were my inspiration kind. So I can't say pinpoint saying that this person inspired me, but overall that concept itself, that be an independent woman and be financially independent, have a career of yourself. So that has already like was there ingrained in me somehow.
And so it kind of lasted for you to be able to
Yeah,
take it up again after 25 years, which is huge.
absolutely, absolutely. I started my second innings when I was 50.
Yes. So, see, it had to be like something, a very strong inspiration. Otherwise,
Very
these things
strong,
die
very
down. Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, Anu, tell me, so you restarted at 50, and of course, you worked for a couple of years before that initially. So, some of the challenges which you may have faced in your life as an individual and as a woman, both.
Challenges, yes. As a woman, I would say that I'll break down into few. Two is like before my marriage or before during my graduation. I was not even allowed to do the graduation, the stream, to choose a stream also. I did not have the freedom to choose a stream,
Hmm.
you know.
Okay. Mhm.
So it's like the stream which has got more girls, you could be a part of that stream. So
Hmm.
I'm a commerce postgraduate, and then those were the days when in that city in Bhubaneswar I did, and
Hmm.
there was not a single girl in the stream of commerce. So
Hmm.
that was a big thing, that okay, there are no girls, so you can't. So that was first hurdle. Second, after graduation, I wanted to pursue my post graduation, and then those years were like 20, you're married, 18, 19, you're married. So
Hmm.
if it is 20 plus means, oh, bahut din ho gaya. It's like pity, people pity you that, okay, she didn't get married. So, and then I come from a business community, not the business family, but the
Hmm.
community is business. So very few women or men went for higher education. So
Hmm.
somehow there was a debate in my own house saying that should she pursue the post graduation or no, because she wouldn't get a groom to match with her higher qualification. So
Hmm.
that was the first struggle I got. And my father, I have to thank him that he told me that, okay, you continue your post graduation, but you're not allowed to step into the university to do that. So I
Hmm.
did my self studies and
Okay.
did my post graduation because my brother, family members, so no, 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 she shouldn't study. So very few knew that I'm still pursuing my post graduation, and that's the biggest challenge I had as a female during that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after that, I don't think so. I faced any more such challenges after that
Mhm.
during my career also. Maybe because I was not in there that corporate world or wherever, so I didn't experience anything a drawback or challenge as a female. Yeah.
So, and when you restarted, was it difficult?
When Yeah, no, it wasn't difficult. When I restarted, as I said, actually what happened is why I left my career. I left my career to look after my kids.
Yes,
So
yeah.
a stage comes when they're independent and then they don't need you anymore, you know. And at 50, you know that the biological what happens, that the hormones play a havoc in your body during your menopause and the depression, the mood swings, what you go through. So to handle that, you know, I'm a person who understands what's happening with me. Like I'm
Hmm.
self-aware.
Hmm.
And when you're self-aware, I think you look for ways to address that issue. So that's how I was. So when then at 50, when I said, okay, my family doesn't need anymore, my children doesn't don't need anymore, but I want myself to somehow grow. So
Yes.
that's when I got into this profession as in image consulting. And when I joined the course, would you believe that I was the oldest in the batch?
I can, I can.
So yeah, the challenge was oldest. Many people will say, oh, 50. Some people say, oh, nice. So,
Mm,
oh, 50. It's like, you know, there are two school of thoughts, you know,
yes,
like
yes.
this is one. The second thing is all my assignments have to be submitted, though it was a physical classroom, but
Mm.
all the assignments have to be submitted online.
Okay, okay.
So I'm talking about 12 years back because I started my innings in 2012.
Hmm.
So that time, though I was computer savvy because I never was a full-time homemaker, never. I
Okay.
always did something for myself. I did French, three levels of French I did. So I do a lot of social work, the anchoring, little bit designing. So I used to do all these 25 years sabbatical also. So I was little literal. I mean I had the digital literacy, but still creating PowerPoints and submitting online was a challenge for sure. But
I
I
get.
think these are all challenges you can pass through if you want to do something your own. So it was like, you know, internally I was motivated because it's coming from me within. I want to do it. It's not that you have to do it. So that's what keeps me always motivated to do something. Yeah,
Excellent.
that's
And
how
you're
I think.
right. It has to come from within you. If it comes from within
Yeah,
you, then nothing is a challenge.
absolutely.
It's
Because
only a
if you
hurdle.
say you correct, because it is, if you say that if even for the children, maybe you have to do this, then they will never do it. You know,
Yeah,
if they want to do it, they would
they
do.
will
So
do it.
you have to kind of, you know, tweak few things to tell them that, okay, it is good for you to do. So somehow that has to come from them so
Yeah.
that they can pursue. So it's like that. So that's how it is.
All right. So tell
Yeah.
me, of course, when you started, if I mean, your journey all over again, but still, yes, you were a mother, and of course, your kids had grown, but still, all those roles which women have to play in terms of being a wife and a daughter, daughter-in-law, and of course, and your work. So, how do you balance? Is there any mantra that you follow? How do you kind of make sure that you're able to juggle the different roles effectively?
I think I've already answered with my previous question. It's like internal motivation. If you want to do it, you will do by hook or by crook and however it is.
Hmm.
Like, you know, so you start making your plans from, you know, ahead and you prioritize things, and that is how it goes. So it's like it has to come from I want to do it. And everything falls in place because you plan as per that. You prioritize things like that. So that's how you balance, you know. So, and one more thing is this profession has given me flexibility of time. I
Hmm.
can choose when I want to take up a work or I don't want to take up a work. And that's the biggest boon of having this profession in my hand because I'm self-employed. It's
Hmm.
like any client comes, if okay, I'm not free, I wouldn't take up. So
Yeah, yeah.
that time the priority will be for my family, right? So that is how it's kind of, you know, I balance work and home. So far, I have been doing. You
I'm
won't believe
sure
even
you.
when I was doing my course. Yeah, even I was doing my course, I said it is offline. So I used to travel from one place to other. I used to drive down entire day, like 8 hours classes used to be there in the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And those were the days my children were still like little dependent on me. I would say that Indian mothers make them dependent, I guess, though they're adults. You know, my daughter was pursuing a CA, my son was studying. So, you know, you want to make everything ready, like all cook your breakfast, cook the meal for lunch. So everything I used to do was still drive down and come back and do again assignments. So this is what I say: if you have fire in your belly, you can do whatever.
I
And
agree.
women have that capacity to multitask and wear different hats and swap very easily from one hat
Yes,
to the other.
I completely agree with that. That's perfect.
Yeah, we are blessed.
Yes, we are. So, Anu, though I can pretty much kind of guess, but I want to hear it from you. What do you think has been your biggest success so far? And here I'm not talking about any, monetary or financial. It's not that, but you
Yeah,
as a person,
agree.
what do you think has been your
Okay.
biggest success?
Okay. So as you already said, the biggest success, I will never say biggest, Sangeeta. I never say best version, the biggest success. I always leave little scope for the betterment. I always say better version. This is better than that. So I have still to go. It's got to be better. Not yet. These are the phrases which I tell myself.
Hmm.
The moment you say biggest, that means you've achieved all. So where is the inspiration, where is the motivation for you to do anything better? So I wouldn't say biggest, but yes, the biggest, the big one, the few bigs are there. The one big is like plunging into second innings of your career at 50, and the badge, and as I said, online assignments have to be submitted, and I was the first one to get certified in that
Wow.
batch.
Wow. Wow.
Because what happens is, it's not like any graduation, Sangeeta, that you attended classes, there is one particular date, you give exam and you get certified. No, it doesn't happen. What
Okay.
happens is, if you just complete the course of attending classes, then it is up to you how and when you send your assignments, and then they're assessed and you get the certification. And there are a number of them, 30, 40 assignments. So
Okay.
I was the first one to get certified.
Wow.
And
Wow.
2012 was the third year of Image in India.
Okay.
Okay, so I was one of the 100 image consultants of India at that time. So
Wow.
that is one
That's
thing. Yeah,
awesome.
that
Yeah.
is one thing. And the second is when I got an opportunity to curate the TEDx talks and coach the TEDx speakers. I think that was one more hat, one more victory hat, I could say. And next is I kind of presided. I was heading Image Management Professional Association. There is an association which has got like a lot of chapters, and I was presiding Mumbai chapter for 3 years.
Okay. Okay.
That gave me a lot of opportunity to kind of interact with fellow image consultants and a lot of professionals, number one. And number biggest achievement, I would say that I love anchoring. I
Okay.
wear so many hats, but my best, most favorite hat is when I anchor, when I MC. So I
Okay.
got an opportunity to MC or host Image Management's Professional Association's 2-day business conference.
Oh, great. Okay.
So
Okay.
that was very nice. And then I have got Business Excellence Awards 2 years, 2 consecutive years. These are few to the list. The biggest yet to come.
Yes. Yes.
I would keep
And
that
yes,
open.
that's how you go on. You're so right.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So, of course, Anu, as you said, if you have that fire in the belly that can make you do anything, and it comes from within you, so you can surmount any hurdle, any obstacle. But still, we're all humans, and there are days when we are not as fired up as some other days. So, how do you deal with those kind of lows or those kind of days which are not as fired up as the others?
I totally agree with you. And that is how I pushed our interview, I think, from the last week to this week. So we do go through highs and lows, it not only professionally, personally, your children's life. So it does happen.
Yes.
But as I said, you have to stay motivated for sure. Take that mini break, understand what gave you or pushed you into the depth, and come out of it. The moment you know that what has pushed you down, that is then you know how to address that and come out of your depression or your low moment, number one. And second, I feel that what I do is I reminisce my most powerful moments, most successful moments.
Wow.
There is a science, it is called that, the power poses. It's like the power moments. When
Hmm.
you reminisce those power moments, I think you start feeling happy and confident,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because the chemical changes do happen in your body and makes you feel confident. And yes, of course, I read books and listen to people like you who inspire. So there are ways to come out of your low
Yes.
moments. So this is what keeps me, and I do what I love. So
Hmm.
that also one of the way to, come out of your lows and yeah, get going.
I guess, when there is a will, there is a way. You will find a way out of
Absolutely.
whatever is holding you back. Definitely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you said it.
So, Anu, where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Oh, I'm 61 now today. So
Okay.
71, I would like to be as healthy as this,
Mm-hmm.
as agile as this,
Yes.
and still in love with what I'm doing, the work I do, and maybe a grandchild or two to play with.
Of course, I'm sure. All right.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, if I will be doing my work, maybe I would do more pro bonos
Mm-hmm.
and give away share my knowledge and experience with whoever needs it. So that would be my 71.
All right. Okay. So, of course, in this life, where you've had various kinds of experiences from a young girl to, a young woman, then, of course, working for a while, then a mother, and then the second innings. So, some of the learnings of this life that you could share with us, which again, the idea being to inspire other women.
Hmm. Learnings, I think I feel that you should never say I've learned enough.
Hmm, hmm,
You
hmm.
must have known from a first word from the go. Like I always say that there is a scope to be better. So
Yes.
it's like you never say you've learned enough. Keep learning, be a lifelong student is what one thing I would say. And never say I have done the best. It's
Hmm,
always better.
hmm,
And most importantly, when we are in a field of a profession like teaching or styling or motivating, so I feel that you keep updating. To
hmm.
blur the generation gap is very important,
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely.
because you have to keep updating yourself. You
Yeah.
can't say ये पढ़ा था तब भी तो यही दूंगा, तो यही दूंगी नहीं चलता है.
Hmm.
Like even children, whatever we say, maybe the content is right, but the way we speak or convince may be not right,
Yeah, yeah,
because this generation takes it in a different way. The dose is right, but the way you give the dose may not be right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
updating every aspect is extremely important, and that's what I have learned from my work experience and life experience. I keep learning and
Hmm.
never stop learning is what I would say. And read, listen, like self-help books, anything what makes you feel good. This is what I would say. Yeah, I have learned a lot.
That's wonderful, and I agree with most of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Another thing, so of course we've come a long way from where we were when you were growing up, but still that element of patriarchy still exists in our society. The society is skewed in favor of the other gender. So when women do well in their lives, they are known for their work or whatever they set out to do. How does the world react to those successful women? What are your views on this?
I feel it all depends upon your perception, first of all. And I have been fortunate enough to be surrounded by women who always made me feel, okay, proud
Hmm.
or happy with my success. And exactly similar way, even I do. I'm happy to see people succeed. And the world, well, maybe there were days, look, in couple of, in maybe a decade away, maybe the women or men was a little jealous or envious. I don't see that happening now. I think there is a change. People are more inspired to see women achievers
Hmm.
rather than being jealous of them.
Hmm.
It's like envy and jealous.
Yes, yes.
Be envy and take it as an inspiration. And this
Mhm.
generation is doing that. I need to learn from this generation, and I do learn. This
Hmm.
generation is completely different. They might have a lot of bad things, but the best thing is they're very practical, very pragmatic.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
don't keep, they know that this is negative energy, right? The moment you envy someone, you're jealous of someone,
Hmm.
negativity, these are all negative energy. So the moment you are happy with the other person's success, the people will be happy with your success too.
Yeah,
So that's how it goes. It's a two-way traffic, two-way, yeah, two-way street. Yeah, yeah.
I agree.
I
Okay,
don't know you agree or not. Now I
but
don't
I
think
do see
people,
it's
yeah, yeah,
changing a lot. I mean, of course, somebody who's
yeah.
still carrying the remnants of the older times and generation
Correct,
would be there. But yes,
correct.
overall, it's changing. And I think
Overall, it's
change is
changing.
like always better, and you're moving to a better space than before. So I think
Absolutely.
it's all
Yeah,
positive. Good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So another thing that you may have noticed is a lot of people have started doing different things nowadays. So you have a
Mm,
doctor who's taken to writing. There's an engineer who's become maybe a sports person, or there is a banker who wants to do something with, environment. So different things that people are doing, and it could be a side hustle, or it could be that they completely switch. So why do you
yeah.
think it is happening? I mean, what are your views on this?
I'll take you back to my image consulting batch.
Hmm.
I have had my fellow classmates. Some were like, some were holding good higher positions in banks,
Hmm.
corporates,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
they used to attend the weekend classes.
Okay.
They when you understood. So I feel that why this shift happens is when you immediately pass out of a college or institution, the first priority which plays in your mind is make money,
Hmm, 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 hmm.
because financial stability is what the youngster would look for.
Definitely,
So
yes.
when you're choosing your stream also, sometimes you don't get the stream what you want, maybe because of your scores or your grades or whatever.
Hmm.
So the moment they're out of the with the post grad or graduation, they get into job whichever is giving money.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not their passion, that they do to get financially healthy. So
Yes.
the moment they're financially independent, they start thinking about their passion, what they left behind because of the rat race.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's how they kind of making a switch to make their passion as a profession, number one,
Hmm.
isn't it? Because it's always like you do because you want money, you have a family to look after, but that's not you. That's not your calling. That's not your passion. I have
Hmm.
seen a lot of them doing. So what happens is you're not happy, but you do because you want money.
Yeah,
After
yeah.
they are financially stable, they follow their passion,
Hmm.
which gives them satisfaction and quality life increases, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
people like us, like after a long sabbatical, I didn't go back to my profession as a professor. I
Hmm.
was teaching economics and accounts. I
Hmm.
made a switch. I
Yeah,
followed
yeah.
my passion.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
my husband was a chartered accountant. He's a chartered accountant. He worked for an MNC bank for all donkey years. After retirement, he started doing something which he loves, is trading. He says, I'm very happy. He's 71. He says, I'm happy.
Hmm.
So that is a switch, I feel. There are different various ways why people are, various reasons why people are shifting.
Hmm.
And I think this is the major one, like following their passion.
Hmm. All right. Yes. Okay. So, any piece of advice for young girls who are on the threshold of their lives, professional, personal, what would you tell them? What are certain things that they should keep in mind?
Hmm. I would say the youngsters should slow down sometimes.
Okay. Okay.
Because slowing down sometimes I feel is power.
Yes.
Slowing down is power for sure. Just I give an example, analogy of our cell phones itself.
Hmm.
Suppose you're on the go for the entire day, and you know that it's just left battery is 15%, 20%. What do? You switch off all the apps.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
GPS off kar diya, ye off kar diya, wo off kar diya. You know, you dimmer the light, you reduce the brightness, you reduce the volume. What are you doing? You're conserving your energy, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly similar, actually. You have to slow down a little bit to get back to that energy, what you're draining out, and little introspection, little self-talk, little self-love. So slowing down is number one, I would say, because I see my daughter also. She has balanced it quite well, but slowing down is number one. And number two, I would say self-approval,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because self-approval is equivalent to self-confidence.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because you don't need other people to accept you or approve you. It is you who need to approve you
Yes.
yourself. And
Absolutely.
that's where your self-esteem and self-confidence is high.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the social media drains away the self-esteem and self-confidence a lot.
Yeah.
One message to all the youngsters, that the images what you see, the reels what you see, or whatever it is, a real and real are completely two different things.
Yes.
It goes through a lot of planning and execution, airbrushing, editing, fine tuning. What you see on the social media is that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why don't you do that to yourself, fine tune yourself, airbrush a little bit, edit yourself? I would say do that to yourself, whatever you see on the reel, work on yourself. And the third biggest point, which I have seen my daughter and daughter's friends and youngsters, young clients, I feel that they should keep a watch on their biological clock, Sangeeta,
That's
because they're so busy in the corporate rat race or the work that somehow they procrastinate or the push that part of it, saying, okay, not now, not a family way, not now, not now, not now. So but the biological clock is ticking away. It doesn't wait for you to stabilize yourself financially or whatever. So that is a big lesson or big advice I would give, that keep a watch on your biological clock. Because afterwards I've seen girls trying so hard to have a family, but it doesn't work, and they have
yeah.
to go
Yeah.
through more more problems, or you can say more hurdles to start a family or whatever. So I feel that keeping a watch on the biological clock is extremely important.
Yeah, because I think, as I, read somewhere, in fact, Apurva Purohit, she said something
Okay.
which made a lot of sense to me, that, women should focus on growing laterally and not vertically all the time. Because you are
Absolutely.
made to do various other things rather than just growing in your profession.
Correct.
You have to
Correct.
be mindful of that, and
Absolutely.
you don't try to be a man. You are a woman at
No.
the end of the day. So
No, I
acknowledge
don't
that,
agree.
accept it.
I do not agree, Sangeeta. Don't be a man. We ourselves are differentiating, creating
Yes,
gender bias.
when we
I
say
don't
that.
want to do that,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
both are working in the same capacity. I've seen, like girl and the boy or whatever, male, female, both are working.
Mm.
Maybe biologically the women are hardwired differently, but the job wise, they're doing equally
Yes, yes, yes,
responsible
yes.
jobs. You
Absolutely,
know,
absolutely. What I meant was
so
that when it
yeah.
is need for you to, there is a need for you
Yes,
to step back, and
yes,
then you should
yes,
be happily you should be doing it.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. The moment it's like, if you do not want a child, that's different.
That's a
It's
different thing.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a different thing. If you
Mm.
really have a inclination to start a family, want one, then keep a watch on the
Yes,
biological
yes.
clock. That doesn't wait
So,
for you.
yes, I agree.
It's a partners, it's a couple decides they want to have it or don't want to have it, when they want to have it. So it's like fast tracking your keeping a watch on the biological clock is
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
would say.
Right. All right. Okay, Sanu, we've heard a lot of this, and like I personally don't agree, but I still ask all my guests: is a woman a woman's worst enemy?
I just said I don't agree actually. Why can't we rephrase this question and with the swapping one word over there?
Because
Why?
I think it is a myth that has been more
Yes,
created and then
yes,
perpetuated. I think it is
yes.
my perception that it is a way to divide and rule.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
we have to
Yeah.
see through it and make sure that we
Yes.
don't let it happen. Because I feel,
Yes.
jealousies and competition, these kind of things exist amongst men also. Like human beings, different people are different. It's not
Yeah.
a man
Yeah.
or woman thing, it's with everybody. But I think it's a
Yes.
myth, and we have to, kind of totally disintegrate this. And that is why I ask, so
Yes.
that more women
Yeah.
hear this, agree
Yes.
with this,
Yes.
they will also start believing
Yes.
it. That's the whole point
Yes.
behind asking the
Yeah,
question.
I do not agree with this at all. I feel that men are more jealous of men. Men create more stumbling blocks for other men. And women are actually, what happened is we all are conditioned by what we have seen through our years, early years, like
Hmm.
the movies or stories or whatever, we are all conditioned, I think. The myth, what you say, the conditioning has to just blur.
Yes, yes.
Somehow we need to do that, so I feel that women are more expressive. So women are more vocal, maybe.
Hmm.
But show me one work setup where men don't create those stumbling blocks for the others. I have seen it all.
I agree. I agree. So,
Yeah, I've seen it all. Rather, a woman helps a woman, I feel. Rather, a man bitches around a woman, I feel. But women these days, specifically this generation, I don't see this happening anymore. And it's a good change,
very
Sangeeta. It's a very good change.
good. Yeah, yeah. So finally, Anu, can a woman have it all?
Yeah. Right. I think just previous question, we answered it a lot. Like anyone can have anything.
Yes.
And why not? I would say, it all starts from a saying that I want it. The
Hmm.
moment you say you have ways to get this done. So I would say that yes, but it won't happen. You need to have that internal motivation. Number one, you need to have that abundance mindset. It's like I have believe in yourself, then I
Hmm.
think you can have it all. There is no gender. Let's blur that gender differentiation or the gender limiting. Anyone can have anything if you think that you believe in your potential, believe that you can do it. I think you can have it. It's like small little tweaks, like if you want to make this happen, how? It's like you need to know where you want to do or what you want to achieve. I
Hmm.
give an example always that when you open your cell phone to book a cab, Uber, the first thing it asks you where to.
Yes, yes.
So the moment you put a destination, it would take whichever way the route is, path is, but it makes you, it arrives at the destination.
Correct.
Exactly, it works that way. If you know very clear about your goals, what you want to achieve, I think you will make a way to reach there. And yeah, anyone can have anything.
Yeah, you're right. Because I think it's important to manifest.
Manifest,
Dream,
absolutely.
believe, and
Yeah,
it will definitely
absolutely.
happen. So,
Yes, absolutely. Because you can't manifest with the scarcity mindset, Sangeeta.
yes,
That's why I said abundance mindset. That I have it, I need to recognize it, I need to use it.
yes, yes. I
That
totally.
belief is very important, because I will give my own example that recently, 1.5 year, I just didn't want to work.
Hmm, hmm.
Some changes came in my personal life. I took a home. I was like, oh, I love this. I want to be here. I don't want to do anything. So I just didn't want. Recently, I said, enough. I want to bounce back to my work. Trust me, like many things came towards me, all kinds of work, all sorts of inquiries. So this is like, you're creating your AI
Yes,
in the
yes,
universe.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
the algorithm is set. So you're setting the algorithm. I'm speaking the digital language. So usually it's like setting up your algorithm, right? So you
Hmm.
can have anything if you really want it. If you do not want, no one can force you to
No
get
one
that.
can do it for
No
you
one
also. And
can do
also
it for you.
maybe, you can't have everything at the same time. But
Correct.
yes,
Correct.
depending on what is important and, like
Yeah.
you said, priorities and all of that, keeping that in
Priorities.
mind,
Yes.
you
Yes.
can have
Yes.
it all. So that, like,
Yes.
tomorrow when I look back on my life, I can say that, yes, this is what I wanted from my life and I got it
Absolutely.
despite all the
Absolutely.
hurdles and obstacles.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Anu. It was really wonderful talking to you and your insights into, various experiences of life and various ups and downs. And, these are things which I find are common to most women. It's just that when we
Yes,
hear somebody else say the same thing, it resonates with us, we relate to it. And I think it makes our battles little more easier. Yeah.
little more easier. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Sangeeta. It's quite an honor to be with you here and sharing my story. And if I'm able to inspire even one, I think it's my success.
I'm sure you'll be able to. All right.